People are still abducted. Right, Honorable Speaker, on the eve of the election, colleague leaders in my political party, one, our deputy president in charge of Western Uganda, Jolie Jacqueline Tukamushaba, a lady who is well known to you, was abducted. To date, her whereabouts are not known. The Honorable Lina Zedriga, our deputy president in charge of Northern Region, was abducted on election eve. To date, her whereabouts are not known. A gentleman called John Mary Sebouf, who is a councillor, and several others. You see the challenge about these issues. We keep raising them, and some colleagues say, but you are pestering us. Yes, we shall pester using this platform that we have. It is unacceptable that people get abducted and their whereabouts are not known for one day, for a week, come into 2 weeks. Why can't people be produced in court? Government needs to help us understand. I'm not above the law. No one is. I can be suspected to have committed an offense. But what does the law say? Arrest me vis-a-vis the law, produce me in a court of law. But when you hold me somewhere, family cannot access me, lawyers cannot access me. What do you want us to do? What do you want people to do? And when you complain about these issues, some people think we are being too much. Perhaps until it happens to you. And it has happened to colleagues, by the way, across the aisle. So these are critical issues. First, detach the political affiliation and whatever you think is the reason for this person's arrest. But can the law prevail? And these concerns have got to be addressed, Right Honourable Speaker. Hundreds of people arrested, polling agents, people held in police cells for more than the 48 hours that are allowable within the law. That is not proper. And when we raise these issues, let's address them as people's representatives. Forget that I am NUP or NRM, because it can happen to any of us. These foundational principles have got to be respected and fought for by all of us in this room, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I saw and I see the good doctor, Minister of Information, is here with us. My party leader, after the election, his house was raided, the Honourable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert, who is an OB of this house. He managed to sneak away. I kept seeing the military, I kept seeing the Minister of Information here saying no one is after him. But as they were saying that, the military was continuously descending on his home, raided it, broke into it, beat up his wife and family members. And the following day, the minister and other dignitaries were saying, no one is after this man. I said, look, just like I have made it succinctly clear, no one is above the law. If there is an offense that the Honourable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert is suspected of having committed, whether it be running for president, some people think it is an offense that you can challenge the Bush war general, and so it's an offense. Whatever offense it is, why don't summons get to be issued to him? So that then he's able to show up and is charged. Honourable Speaker, yesterday, his siblings tried to access his home. After the minister again said, no, all is well, people can access. His siblings went there yesterday. And police officers, several of them deployed there, they said, we don't have authority to allow anybody to access his place. I want to know, is it official that the Honourable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert is under house arrest? And for that matter, people cannot access his family. And for that matter, it should continue this way. Because why are you not summoning him if there's a particular offense that he has committed? And again, Honourable Speaker, let's forget that this is the leader of the NUP, which you might not like. That's okay. But this is a Ugandan. This is a leader for all intents and purposes. Why is the law operating this way? And Honourable Speaker, the good minister here has got experience with the law being absquatulated. He suffered a similar fate when he was abducted. He was taken away for days on end. His family members were looking for him. Colleagues in this house spoke out on the Hansard, by the way. They said, where is Honourable Chris Balyomunsi? Government, where have you taken him and all the others? People fought for you. Yes. Until eventually, government, due to the pressure exerted by members here and elsewhere, they produced the gentleman in court. But we were saying, why were you hiding him wherever and treating him the way they were? Right, Honourable Speaker.
Conclude, LOP.
The final issue which I think this House has got to be addressed on We were here a few months ago. Government came to us with a supplementary budget, as they normally do. And we are going to have several others. I normally tell the Minister of Finance, why don't you plan properly? When you keep bringing here supplementary budgets for obvious things, it is quixotic. Anyhow, they brought us supplementary and said we need to purchase these machines. I and the Hansard can really, bear me witness. I said, look, we want to purchase these machines expensively at this point in time. What has changed? In the last election, we used these machines. They failed to function. The census came around. The machines failed to function. And now government was telling us, here is the panacea to vote rigging. And it was interesting that government was conceding that they preside over a government that allows vote rigging and all of these different things. And they said, now we have a solution so that votes will not be rigged by government officials, because government is the one in charge anyway. These machines, when you see how much we spent on them, it was nearly 400 billion shillings. Part of that was to purchase the machines. Part of that was to train operators. The other was to hire people who were going to operate them. The other billions were to integrate features on the ballot paper so that when you scan it with the machine, it functions. All of that came at a cost. But alas, on election day, the machines failed to work. And we said, wait a minute, how come they have been functional? Honorable Speaker, we were here in the conference hall. The Electoral Commission officials came very excited and they presented to members of parliament. Some of you were there. And the machines functioned. And members were happy. Of course, others were sad, saying, so if this thing functions properly, will I survive? I saw those concerns from members. But we're saying technology is a good thing in this day and era. But we go to election day and the machines fail to operate. By midday, people were not voting. And the Electoral Commission issued a statement and said, okay, let's go back to the register. I said, what happened? We need an answer because we spent billions of taxpayers' money. Is it that fake machines were procured? That means somebody has got to be held responsible. Is it that good functional machines were procured? However, they were frustrated from working. We need to know. The interesting thing, Right Honourable Speaker, 2 days ago, we were voting for the last batch of local government leaders. I saw the machines were functional. So I asked, what miracle has happened? That the machines which failed to work at presidential and parliamentary, district chairpersons, lord mayors, and so on, now when we are doing the last leg, the final one, the machines functioned. Government needs to bring us up to speed. What happened? Because a loss was occasioned for the first elections. So all of a sudden they began to function. Was the problem fixed? Did we purchase new ones? Or did we say maybe for these particular elections, these last local government elections, there is no problem. The machines can work. There is not much interest. We want to know because I get the feeling that the machines were conveniently defective.
LOP.
As I wrap up, Right Honourable Speaker. And I thank you for being patient with me because these issues are critical.
Members, I also want to congratulate all of you who made it through, including but not limited to the leader of opposition, who by his account, this was an unfair process, but nevertheless, he made it. He talked about many things, including that the home of the Honorable Kyagulanyi is a prison. But I want to say that, first of all, a prison presupposes that there are prisoners in a premise. That home is not a gazetted prison. The Honorable Kyagulanyi himself is not there. So I want to state categorically that that home is not a prison. There may be inconveniences, and security may have reasons for their presence there. I think those ones we can iron out, but the home of the Honorable Kyagulanyi is not a prison. 2, abductions. We don't abduct, we arrest. If you breach the law, you get arrested. And we can account for all those people under custody. They may delay to be produced, but we don't abduct as government. Thank you.
Honourable Minister for information, and then you can.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I also take the opportunity to congratulate colleagues who went through and thank whoever participated. I think many of the issues to do with the arrests, the Minister of Internal Affairs has commented. But just to recap what I told the country as the Minister of Information, is that there are no charges being preferred against the Honorable Kyagulanyi, and the state is not looking for him. He's a free man. That's the point I made. He chose on his own volition to go into hiding. The state is not interested in him. Otherwise, the state would pick him from wherever he is, because we know. We have technology to trace people. But because we are not interested in him, that's why I said he's free to be in his home. At the moment, he's not at the home, but he is free at the time and members of his family. There is a light deployment at his home, not to harass anybody, but for Ugandans not to use the home as a public disorder hub for purposes of security, their security interests. And therefore, there is some access control. Because again, also when the head of the home is not there, you wouldn't want the whole crowd of Ugandans to just swim there. So there's some control, but harmless. So, leader of opposition, your leader is not wanted by the state, and advise him to be at home, provided he doesn't engage in law breaking. There is no problem with that.